Hello and welcome back, TCG fans and Transformer art and card creators alike. Uh, Grillenheimer, and today's reveal is something that's already once been revealed at least twice. Spedabots. Again, my own creation. If you go back and look in the playlist, you'll find a playlist just for the Spedabots, the notebook and the drawing and their personalities that I created when I was about 14 years old, around 1987. I've said too much. So let's get on with it. I'm going to go real quick with this, and let's start at the top. Let's start with Blimpous, our Sluggard Scout in alt mode, who is a spaceship and melee traits in his alt mode. He's a 4-star, and in order to make a 24-star combiner, which is what we've done here, the same that I did with Defensor and Bruticus. So it ensures that where you can, if you're playing with only a 25 max deck, 25 star max deck, that you can at least get 1-star card in your deck when you play these guys. So there's that. So they're not all 5 stars. You're going to have 2 4-stars, 2 5-stars, and a 6-star. That's how this works. So Blempus is a 4-star Sluggard Scout, attack of 3, health of 8, defense of 2 in alt mode. When you flip to this mode, scrap an enemy upgrade. Hold that thought. Let's go to his bot mode, where his stats are almost the same, but his defense actually goes up by 1 to 3. So he's an attack of 3, defense of 3. When this takes more than 3 damage, flip this to its other mode. So he takes more than, say he gets damaged by 4 or 5, he's still in play, flip him over, scrap an enemy upgrade. Wow, there you go. So it's going to be kind of like he's kind of running away in a sense, because he's supposed to be the coward of the group, and he's got a little bit more health because he's supposed to be rotund. When I originally drew him, he was the fat one. He's the fat blue one. Ramstador is up next, our fast satellite. In alt mode, he is a spaceship and ranged. He's the weakest of the attack in alt modes for the spaceships. They're all spaceships, in case you've forgotten. His attack of 1, health of 7, and defense of 2. When this attacks and no orange pips are flipped for battle, this has +2 attack. Yeah, I might need to change this to when this attacks and no orange pips are flipped, this gets +2 attack for battle. Yeah, let's do that. So it is an attack trigger. When this attacks and no orange pips are flipped, this gets +2 to attack until end of turn. So let's get this right. So that's Ramstador in his alt mode. He is the 4-star brother to Blimpous. He's a spaceship and he's ranged. Flip him over to bot mode, he's still just ranged. His attack goes up to 3. He has a health of 7 and a defense of 1. When this attacks, and his attack damage equals 3. So he has to damage an enemy opponent, exactly by 3. Then you can tap an untapped enemy. So the damage has got to equal 3 exactly. If your opponent has anybody untapped, then you can actually tap them. So, whoa, pretty specific, but that is Ramstador. Now, if we flip him back to alt mode, he only has an attack of 1. And if you don't flip any oranges, say you're using a mostly blue deck with these guys, maybe he's going to ensure to get at least a base attack. Not really his base attack is 1. You at least get an attack of 3, and in whatever maybe weapon and upgrades you have on him. So there's that, and he is the weakest of attack in the alt modes of the spaceships here. Speared. Sort of was thinking of Wolverine. Was a big Wolverine fan when I was a teenager, reading the original comics. We will probably never have a character like Wolverine created ever again. think about that. Anyway, Lone Speedster, alt mode, spaceship, and melee traits. He actually has an attack of 2 as a spaceship, health of 8, and 2 defense. 5-star character. When this battles, for each blank pip card flipped, add +1 to attack and +1 to defense for turn. I might want to check back to one of our old Skywarps who has a similar ability and make sure I have this text right. Probably should have done that before I did this video. But there's that. It's basically the gist, the same thing. When this battles, for each blank pip card flipped, for turn, or add +1 to attack, +1 to defense for turn. So that's Speared in his alt mode. We flip that. He's melee. Flip him over to bot mode. He's ranged. So Blimpous was melee and melee. Ramstador was ranged and ranged. Speared is melee to ranged. His attack goes up to 5. His defense is the same at 2. When this attacks and at least a green and a blank pip card are flipped, it has +2 to attack for battle. So there's that. I thought I saw something flying over the printer. Could have been just a mosquito. I've seen a few around here getting through this door. But anyway, that's Speared, our lone speedster. So between Ramstador and Speared, those are the only 2 that actually mention color, pip colors or non-pip colors for the deck, as far as any kind of buffs therein. Let's keep moving. Stardom, the Spedabot leader. He is the 6-star character with 4 to attack, 11 health, and 2 to defense. This is actually that famous picture. I kind of found it and snapped it, and where the astronaut is flying over the Earth. This is actually, I covered him up with Stardom. Maybe I could afford to make him look a little bigger than that. Well, I guess I could. I kind of like it like it is, but I might make him bigger. I might make this a little bigger. Each spaceship on your team gets balled 1. When you flip to this mode, you may search your scrap for a weapon, upgrade, and put it back in your hand. So he's got a couple of different things going on here. First of all, when you start off, everybody's in spaceship mode, so automatically with Stardom, they're all going to have balled 1. That's nice. When you flip to this mode, it's basically trigger happy. It's trigger happy when you go from bot to alt mode. Get a weapon out of your scrap and put it in your hand. And if you want to put it on one of your characters, you could. So he's going to be able to dip out of the scrap that way. Flip him. He has got the leader trait, spaceship trait, and he's ranged in alt mode. We flip him over to bot mode. He's a leader and ranged. With his attack is still 4, and his defense is still 2. He has focus 1 to match his prescience personality. Each spaceship on your team gets tough 1. So the only really flipping trigger he has is flipping to alt to be able to get a weapon out of your scrap. So being the leader, he's able to give they have to be in spaceship mode though. Your spaceships bold 1 or tough 1 depending on which side he's on. Payback. Which is what I consider the Autobots version of Revenge. I originally started it with Cheetor in my Beast War set, and maybe one other in Beast War, so I call it Payback. I kind of like that. So when this is KO'd, draw 2 and plan 2. There's that. So his Stardom's got a little bit going on with him. I like the idea of Payback. It took me a while to think, and I had to look up synonyms for Revenge or something to that effect. That didn't sound evil and deceptive like Decepticons. The word deception is in their name. I love that part in Bumblebee. That was classic. I got to say that again. So that is Stardom. We move on to our Linguist, Strydof, the green one. He is their only specialist out of the group. So we've covered all the bases. Ranged, melee, and specialist. He is a specialist in spaceship and alt mode. 5-star character with 2 to attack, 3 to defense, and 7 health. And then in Oh, let's. When this attacks, do 1 damage to an untapped enemy. So if he attacks, at least his attack in spaceship mode is at least not as weak as Ramstador is. When this attacks, do 1 damage to an untapped enemy. So that's the of all the characters of the Spedabots that actually have an attack damage, he's the only one that's going to be able to get a perk, be able to hit someone that's an opponent that's untapped. It's only 1 damage, but hey, it's better than nothing when it comes to non-attack damage for the group overall. We flip him over Strydof to his bot mode. He's still a specialist. He looks like he needs Inferno to get in there to help him out, take out the fire, red alert, somebody. Or hotspot. There we go. He's got his attack is the same at 2. His defense comes down to 2. He has bold 1 in this mode though. When you flip to this mode, draw 1 card from your deck and you may plan 1. So you might want to be trying to flip Ramstador, Stardom back and forth, and you might want to be flipping Strydor, who's going to be able to at least give you some draw power. Let's see here. When this attacks, and then when you're able to flip Blimpous to his alt mode, you can scrap enemy upgrades. So, or if he's even damaged in bot mode, he gets to be flipped over and scrap an enemy upgrade. Of course, the issue is there is the I do have an Enigma for them to be able to combine into Stridor. I don't have my old one anymore in the system. It got erased somehow, but I do need to remake it, and that's coming. So I don't have that finished with this video. I hate to admit that, but when you have your Enigma, or maybe I should make it no, I may still do the Enigma with these guys instead of with a stratagem, which somebody did with either Predaking or the Constructicons or somebody. Energon Hustlers, Bayformers, the Ark, somebody actually made a stratagem to help some of the combiners, to use a stratagem instead of having 3 Enigmas in your deck, which I don't have a problem with Enigmas, but when you got a deck filled with Enigmas and a lot of green pip cards that don't do a whole lot for you, especially say like Tech Research, to get those bigger buffed cards to be able to be in your deck for tough 4, bold 4, etc., along those lines. And who knows, when I finally am able to finish and push my Power Masters and be able to get those done, because those are coming up very soon. But I wanted to go ahead and reveal the Spedabots while they're pretty much done, and then get back and finish the undisclosed chapter, and then I'm going to move from there to the Power Masters, especially now that I'm learned how to kind of force myself how to learn how to color using the computer, which is fun. It's almost addicting enough as playing the game, collecting the game, making character and battle cards. So there's that. So let's look at Stridor. Sorry I don't have his Enigma ready at this time. Right now I have him as a ranged and a leader. I might change that to just ranged. He's not a Titan. He's not a Guardian. He's just a combined. This is his combined mode. It's a 24-star combiner. He has 6 to attack, 41 health, which should be all of their health added up together. Unlike some combiners, sometimes there's one of them that when you add it, I think their total health actually comes down by 2 points. I forgot who that is. We were looking at that. Somebody was talking about that on Facebook. I forgot. Anyway, 41 health and 2 to defense. Draw 2 and plan 2. and originally, if you remember my original Strydor, you could draw 2 or draw 3 and plan 4. So you were really able to really look ahead with a plan 4, if I remember, or draw 4, plan 4. It was something crazy. And so I'm like, let's back off with that. Let's do it. Draw 2, plan 2, and keep going. When this combines, scrap all upgrades from one enemy, and do 1 damage to the same enemy for each upgrade scrapped. So if they have, I don't know, let's say you're going up against a living Megatron or somebody with a whole lot of upgrades, and you haven't really been utilized or put in vaporizes and smelts, etc. Does anybody use crushing size anymore in your deck? So if you have a character that is, got a couple of upgrades on them, you're able to get everybody lined up in bot mode. Use the Enigma card when I get it available, and you combine. You can scrap all upgrades on one enemy. If they had 6 upgrades, 6 non-attack damage. Wow. And if that wins the game, that wins the game. So there's that. When this defends against land-based traits, so that's why it looks full. Car, tank, train, truck, motorcycle. This gets +1 to defense. So it's going to have more defense against cars, tanks, trains, trucks, and motorcycles. When this defends against a plane, spaceship, or helicopter, it's going to have -1 to defense. So it has a defense of 3 against most land-based characters, defense of 1 base against I'm so sorry, against airborne characters. And I think I had written that on my original hand-drawn Stridor, 2 years ago? 2 years ago? Wow. Because I made these and really started drawing them the first time the game had not been canceled. It was between Wave 2 and Wave 3. So there's that. So that is Strydof. That is the Spedabots. Wow. We went through all of them in under 18 minutes. The first time I tried recording this, I went over about 20 plus. So we went over Blimpous, Ramstador, Speared, Stardom, Strydof, and Strydor. No connection to He-Man. I'm not a big He-Man fan. And even worse now, thanks to Kevin Smith. We'll see you next time. As always, have a great day. Have a blessed day. And as always, Autobots, transform and let's roll.